Hello everyone, it's Misty. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm really excited to be participating in the Save the Crafty YouTuber video hop again this year. It's only one day this time. We have tons of prizes to give away. Simon Says Stamp is sponsoring a $25 gift card on my channel. So all you have to do is leave me a comment, like this video, consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more of my videos, and you could win a $25 shopping spree to the Simon Says Stamp online store. All of the supplies that I'm using today are available at Simon Says Stamp, and I'll have everything listed and linked directly to the online store in the description below. And I'll talk a little bit more about it towards the end of the video, but let me get going on what I'm doing here so I don't get behind. So I'm starting out with some Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I'm doing some ink blending, and these are with makeup brushes. Now they have these life-changing blending brushes, which I've heard nothing but great things about. But these makeup brushes are working for me right now. See how smooth that blend in? There's not a harsh line. I was showing you with my finger, the more pressure you put on the back of the brushes, the more intense the color is on your paper. So you can do a really smooth blend, a really light blend if you want to, or you can, make it heavier by pushing a little bit on the back of the brushes. So if you struggle with the round blending sponges, these are a great alternative. Just because you can do light coverage, it's a smooth blend, and it's buildable color. So I really like using these brushes. Now I'm just going to splatter some water on here, and I'm using SPUN Sugar, Picked Raspberry, and Wilted Violet Distress Oxide inks. And this is just to give it a little added interest. So I'm going to leave that on there for a few seconds. This video's sped up a little bit, so I didn't wipe it off right away. I think I left it there for about 20 seconds, and then I just took my cloth, or you can use paper towel, and wipe that water off, and it gives it this really cool effect. So I'm using the Clustered Leaves die. Now this is the new one. This is the Outline Cluster Leaves die. So the leaves are open, and they have the Clustered Leaves die where it's just a solid piece. And I'm going to actually use both of them on this card, but this one is the outline. I'm going to carefully pluck it out of the die here. I'm always afraid I'm going to tear it after all that work. So one leaf already popped out, which is fine because I'm going to make a couple of the leaves a little tiny shaker. I thought it would be fun to make little mini shakers out of some of the leaves. Now here is my just regular 110 Neenah Solar White cardstock that I cut it out where I want it on my paper. And I already have it cut down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So now I'm just trying to figure out which leaves I want to pop out. That top one keeps popping out, but it's too close to the edge of the paper, so I'm not going to use that one, but I'm just going to remove it for now. I'll end up gluing it in later, but just picking leaves randomly that I can make into little windows. Now I'm taking some craft foam, and I'm going to cut it down to size. And then I'm going to trace where my openings are going to be so that I could cut them out. See, this would be pretty, even leaving the white frame in like I have it, and then putting the colored leaves in where all the leaves go. I think that'd be another pretty card. I'm using a craft knife to cut out my traced leaves here. And at first I was cutting out right on the line that I traced, and then I realized I didn't want to be able to see the craft foam when I looked in the little windows, so I widened them each a little bit so that you wouldn't be able to see it. And I'm just using some scrap pieces of acetate as my little windows here. I'm using liquid glue. I'm trying to keep all the pieces together. I didn't want any other pieces to pop out, so I'm kind of trying to go over the frame of the leaf and the inside piece too to make them all stay in one place. I'm using the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive in my little syringe here, and these syringes are so perfect for liquid adhesive. I'll have a link also to the gal I get them from. She's also a card maker, but I believe you can get them on Amazon. They're just blunt tip syringes. But but they work perfect for putting the tiniest drops of glue, and it does not clog. I've tried every kind of non-clogging tip there is, just about, and they all ended up clogging on me. So this is usually what I reach for. All right, so I'm just putting it all over the back. I usually use the score tape when I'm using craft foam, but for this one with the pieces, I didn't want to accidentally pull any pieces out, so I'm going to go ahead and use the liquid adhesive this time, but I just like score tape for craft foam because you don't have to wait for it to dry. It's a very good adhesive. Yeah, I never have to worry about it not sticking. So it's you know, personal preference. For this one though, I just use the liquid adhesive. And the glue pen I was just using is a new glue pen to me. It's the Nuvo Smooth Precision Glue Pen, and I really like it. It has a nice you know, fine tip, and it is really good for intricate die cuts like the leaves there. So I'm using some thread. Me and this thread. I love the concept of it. I thought it would look really pretty in my mind, but you're going to see where I'm going to change things up in a minute, but it just didn't look right. It just looked like a pile of thread, and I didn't like that. So I cut out, this is the clustered leaves die now, not the outline, that I cut out of vellum, and thinking it would help, and it didn't. So I'm gonna take this apart, and I was really concerned that I might tear it because the glue had already started to settle, but I just didn't like the way that thread was looking. So I'm just gonna carefully try to lift it up. I figured if it rips, it rips. You know, there's always ways to fix things. If you have mistakes, there's usually always a way to fix it. I never end up throwing anything out. I always find a way to fix it. So I peeled it up, and
2 hours later.
I finally got the thread to look halfway decent. Me and thread, man, I just could not get it to wrap around my fingers. Yeah, save you some time on that one. But I really liked the vellum piece here. Originally, it was just to cover up that thread a little bit better, but I don't know, I liked it. Kind of softened it up a little bit. I keep flipping it around, but I'm pretty sure it looks the same on both sides, so I don't really know what I was doing. But so I just took that glue pen and I put it just on the stem part. I didn't put on any of the leaves because I wanted the leaves to kind of, you know, lift up a little bit, be free. Now I'm using this Thanks die by Simon Says Stamp. Love this die. I love dies that have the shadow or the border to go with it. It just makes the sentiment pop that much more. So I have the background cut in just using black cardstock, and then I'm going to cut the thinner one out with white cardstock. See how it just makes it pop? I love it. And again, I'm using my glue pen and doing the dots. This pen is perfect for doing dots like this. I always do it on word dies and then like the stem of the leaves. Stuff like that. So yes, I have to have like 5 different glues for, you know, 5 different reasons I have 5 different glues. All right, now I just cut some strips, I think they're 1-inch strips to cover the back of my windows. I started with a spun sugar and I realized that none of my windows were that high. So I'm going to go ahead and blend it anyway instead of throwing it away. These Distress Oxide inks are good like this, that you can cover it up. So whatever I use last is going to be what you're going to see. So see how it just goes right over the top of that? I think it blends a little bit. It softens the picked raspberry up a little bit, but that's okay. It's just to go on the back side of my leaf windows. And I did the same thing for my lower leaf in the purple. I almost put it on my mat here, but there was a little bit of that color still on there, so almost ruined it again. So I just put a piece of copy paper down. And it's not much that I'm putting in these little windows. I didn't want them to be overcrowded, but just enough to, you know, make it sparkle. I stuck with just silver sequins. I used some of the Simon Says Stamp Assorted Moonshine sequins and the Diamond Ring pack by It's Little Things by Lucy's Cards, and it's called Diamond Ring. So just a bunch of silvers. And then I went around each window with my glue syringe, and that will, once it dries, keep them in place and they can't escape. I'm just going to use my little strips that I cut out and cover up the back of my little windows. See, here's why I flipped it and it was almost a disaster. It's not quite dry yet. Now I'm adhering it to a top folding card base, which is again the Nina Solar White 110 pound cardstock. That top leaf that kept popping out, I'm just going to glue it in place, just offsetting it a little bit. Next, I'm going to prep some black cardstock with my anti-static powder because I'm going to heat emboss the second part of the sentiment. My powder was clogged there, so I just took my craft pick and unclogged it. So this sentiment is from the Big Thanks Words stamp set by Simon Says Stamp. And this stamp set also does have a coordinating die that also has a shadow die with it. But I really like the thanks die that I ended up using. I'd never used it before. You know, it's always fun to use the things that you haven't used yet. I'm just using some white embossing powder, and I heat set that really quick. Now, see how my sentiment is crooked on my black cardstock for making my day brighter? I used to always try to line them up at the bottom of the paper so that it would be easier to cut out and keep straight. I didn't get the sentiment labels, which is what I'm using to cut this. I didn't get them for a while because I thought, you know, I can just use my paper trimmer to cut my sentiment out. But since I have gotten these sentiment label dies, I'm in heaven because it doesn't matter. I can stamp it however crooked I want, and then I just have to use the sentiment strip there and cut it out straight every time. Not quite sure why I was fighting it so long. Definitely worth the investment though, I will say. Alright, I'm just going to use some more of my liquid glue to glue down my sentiments. And I almost popped the thanks up with some craft foam, but because I already had a layer of craft foam for the shakers, I thought it would be too thick to send through the mail. It looked really good with it though. Then to finish off my card, I'm just going to add some Jewels by Pretty Pink Posh. And that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this card that I made. All of the supplies that I used are listed and linked directly to Simon Says Stamp in the video description below, and you can always head over to my blog for more information, including additional pictures. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button and let me know that you liked it. If you'd like to see more of my videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click on that bell icon so that you'll be notified when I post a new video. I post every Wednesday morning where I share my project for the upcoming week's Simon Says Stamp Wednesday Challenge. Be sure to click the link down below to hop on over to the next video. Also, don't forget to comment as you go. The more you comment, the more chances you have to win. Simon Says Stamp is sponsoring a $25 gift card to one randomly selected winner on my channel, so please leave me a comment for your chance to win. There are over 50 prizes throughout the hop. Comments must be left by June 5th. Prizes will be announced June 10th on Justine's channel and blog. You'll find links to her info below as well. Be sure to mention if you are located in the USA or international in your comment if you'd like to be chosen for a physical prize. And remember, you don't have to comment on every video, but the more you comment, the more chances you have to win. Again, thank you so much for your support. It means so much to me, and I'll see you soon. Bye!